And I am back. I am still back. I'm back more now than I ever was back before. Got a comment, which ain't nothing new on these mean streets of Sacramento, which I'm still here. And granted, by the time you're watching this, I'm already been back in Tennessee for a few days. But right now for me, Jurassic World Part 2 Fallen Kingdom hasn't been released yet in my real time. You've already seen it. All right. The video I made was called The Hair Loss Quest for Wisdom, Truth, and Meaning, which was very important. I wish if there was a required viewing for my subscribers, that would be one where, you know, I had someone saying that they were looking for wisdom, truth, and meaning, and they looked at me, the guy who's like obsessed with making money and getting out of paying off my mortgage early, and you know, they're saying, well, they were saying that they care more about wisdom, truth, and meaning, and I'm like, you know what? Get married, have a couple kids, get a mortgage, and you'll find plenty of wisdom, truth, and meaning. I think that's how you get those things, is responsibility. That was my answer. Tyler Reynolds had this to say, quote, Nick, I believe in previous videos you have identified as a Christian. My question for you is, do you think you would be less confident about who you are if you were not a Christian? End quote. Intelligent question, and I like it. And here's the answer. It's an easy answer. I didn't even have to think about it. Would I be less confident if I were not a Christian? The answer, all caps, 3 exclamation points, yes. I would be less confident if I weren't a Christian. Now I know people out there who are more into faith would say, oh, Nick, you were meant to be who you are, and even if you weren't, you know, raised in such a Christian upbringing, you would still end up how you are now. I don't believe that. I really don't. Despite the version of me that you know from all these videos and being the spokesman for confidence, that's not who I was as a little boy. I didn't become confident in myself, man, like 7th grade, 8th grade. But most of my childhood, I was quiet, I was reserved. I was afraid all the time. I didn't want to be away from my parents. I was sheltered, is how I feel. So I was insecure. I relied a lot on being around my parents. And then what happened was, in 3rd grade, at my church, the youth minister was doing a play, and he needed someone like me, a boy my age. At the time I would have been like 9, and it was a boy that would have been an islander, and I have just enough ethnicity that I passed as this little islander boy, and I barely had any lines in it, but I did that. And then the next year he did another play, which it was like this kind of like 1950s gang. I had the dark hair, slick it back, leather jacket, white t-shirt, and I had even more parts in that. And it was getting to where in these plays I was playing roles that were crucial to the storyline, even though I wasn't necessarily the main character, right? And so each year I'd be in a new play, and then it evolved to me being plays that weren't related to church, just ones at the school and that sort of thing. So I was always in plays. I was always in front of the stage, acting, playing characters, which has so much to do with me being a YouTuber, right? But not only did I grow up doing drama in my church and school and that sort of thing, but I was very involved in my church youth group. So like after the summer of 6th grade, so that had been the summer of what, 93? So 25 years ago, yeah, because that's when the first Jurassic Park came out. And that was happening right as I was going into the youth group. My nose itches so bad. This side too. The maturity of this video just like dropped tremendously. But I do have younger viewers too, so I need to throw them a curveball every once in a while, give them something to be excited about. But I think it's just it's the sunburn from Tahoe that I got. Like, I'm still like itching my whole face, and then the beard's not helping, so I should totally do this video over, but I refuse. Why? Because I'm Nick Shell and I can do whatever I want. So I got very involved in my youth group. I would go on mission trips. I mean, I've been overseas so many times, Ecuador, Thailand, Korea, you know, doing drama, teaching, right? And so absolutely Christianity is such a big part of my identity. And it gave me so much confidence to be serving other people, whether it was painting an old lady's house one summer, whether it was going to teach kids English overseas. You know, I've been on so many mission trips serving other people. I've been a teacher so many times in the church. I've been a camp counselor at multiple times at multiple places. Even in Sacramento, the first time I came to Sacramento was in the summer of 2000, and then also 2001. I was a camp counselor at a Christian camp. And perhaps there's this chance that one of you was my campers. I have been the camp counselor of so many campers during my college years. But ultimately, it's funny because, like I said in the beginning of the video, that responsibility ends up giving you that wisdom, truth, and meaning. You know, and if you go searching for it, good luck. But until you end up being a responsible person and have those responsibilities and having that accountability to other people, it's going to be a lot harder to find wisdom, truth, and meaning. So for me, I think just because of all the responsibility I had in the church, helping serve other people, which I really believe is like the meaning of life, is to serve other people, to love other people by serving them, which is obviously a major motivation of me doing this channel. I'm serving others. I'm not serving young men across the world who are having confidence issues that are triggered by hair loss. And so for me, this all comes down to Christianity, and not in a political way. You know, I'm not a political guy, but I think to you know, love your enemies, love your neighbors, love everyone, treat everyone with kindness. And I think, but also I've got enough of that in me as far as like, I'm a teacher, I'm a reformer, that I speak with confidence. And yeah, I just can't imagine though, had I not grown up with a Christian upbringing, that I would be this confident in general, but also that I would be so comfortable in front of a camera. It's funny because I know so many people in real life, and I'm like, hey man, you should get a YouTube channel. It's a good way to make money on the side. And they're like, I wouldn't know what to talk about. I'm not good in front of the camera. I'm like, I'm not good in front of the camera, but no one's figured that out yet. All right, so let's say in an alternate timeline, my parents weren't Christian and they didn't have me going to church my whole life. And I wouldn't have ended up being part of the youth group. I wouldn't have been part of the plays, which got me to be in plays outside of the church. I wouldn't have gone on mission trips. I wouldn't have been a camp counselor. It's like funny because even as I rehash all this, so much of my confidence and my ability to be speaking in front of people ultimately comes down to my Christian upbringing and all the things I was involved with because of that. And so I have to say that it's absolutely connected to when something as trivial as hair loss comes along. I'm like, why would I care about that? I see the bigger picture. I see the wisdom and truth and meaning about life, and it's about loving and caring for other people. You know, that's what it's about. And yes, I do sweat a lot. I drink a lot of water. I actually failed a drug screen a couple years ago because it was called a negative dilute, because I drink so much water that it looked like I was trying to hide something. So I drink a lot of water. I sweat a lot. It's good to sweat. I have dyshidrosis, or I used to before I became a vegan, and it was weird. It would mean I couldn't sweat as well, but then I'd have these blisters on my hands. So that's really why I'm a vegan, because it keeps all that gone. My eczema and my sinus issues and my pet allergies all go away as long as I don't eat meat, eggs, or dairy. Without me being raised as a Christian and everything related to it, and all basically the hobbies and parts of my identities and all the trips I went on, without all that, without Christianity and that social environment even, no, there's no way I'd be confident. What was the original question again? I just want to make sure I'm answering it right. Do you think you would be less confident about who you are if you were not a Christian? Yeah, I would be I would not be the confident person. I would still be that very shy, insecure little boy that I was in the 80s. And then until I got in front of a stage and started serving other people. No, that I think maybe even we're maybe accidentally learning through me answering this video that perhaps there's also a relation between someone being confident despite hair loss if they're serving other people and they're up in front of other people. Because for me, I know that it's not about me being good looking. It's about me being a good communicator. And I think to be a good communicator means to be a confident person. So yeah, I'm telling you for a fact, if my parents weren't Christian and raised me like in a church environment, and that's where I developed my social skills and abilities and talents and all that, I wouldn't be doing this channel now, and I definitely wouldn't be able to speak with confidence. So for me, you can't take the Christianity out of me and me be the same person, because it had everything to do with me psychologically being brought up in who I am. So yeah, thanks for helping me through that. I feel like I've learned a lot through you asking that question.